have you guys seen this mixed media piece of mine? If you haven't, it's coming available on the Art Healing Hearts auction show on Facebook, along with all of these other pieces of mine. But not just me, there's going to be 12 artists coming up in this show. Some of them I'm sure you're going to recognize: alcohol inks and resin and pouring artists and jewelers, and we have so many beautiful pieces in this show. It's incredible. I want you to join the Facebook group Art Healing Hearts on Facebook. The link is in the description box, and I'll see you there. In this video, I was lucky enough to try Boom Gel Stain for the very first time. I know a lot of you have been using the Boom Gel Stain for your blooms, the Shelly Art blooms. I have not tried it yet, and so this was my first go. I love all the colors, and these are the colors that were sent to me, but more importantly, I really love the viscosity of this. So if you're someone that enjoys thicker paints, using thicker paints, you might enjoy using the Boom Gel Stain. It has that kind of consistency, and I knew that my balloon rolls would work well using these after I saw how thick they were. They come in all sorts of beautiful colors. There's mica pigments that you can add into it, although I didn't do it for this particular painting. If you want to get 10% off your order of the Boom Gel Stain, including Aussie Floetrol, use code Heather10. The link is in the description box for that if you're interested, and I encourage you all to try them out. For this project, I started out with the Ghost Gum Gray, and I spread that out over the canvas. This is actually a canvas panel from Arteza, and that's the wax white. I don't normally recommend canvas panels for pouring, but I knew I was going to create an extremely thin layer, and that's the only way that you can really get canvas panels that's the only way that they'll really work for pouring, is if the layer that you put on there is just micro thin, so it doesn't have a chance to warp. Otherwise they can warp. So the first thing I do here, and it looks like I'm kind of counterintuitive, but first I took away paint using my balloon. I wanted to make sure that there's just not hardly anything. It's almost the bare canvas showing there, you can see. And then I deposit the gel stain onto my balloon, which in this case is a glove that's been blown up, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. And then I start my balloon rolls. So that is one way. If you're ever feeling like your balloon rolls are not turning out right away, take some of the paint off of your canvas. See how you can see just little bits of the canvas are actually showing through. That tells you how little paint is on that canvas panel right there. Very, very little. So then I'm just adding some of the other colors to the balloon, and including a copper, the mauve, and a violet, and the white. And I'm just adding those to my balloon and depositing them onto the canvas panel. Now I had an idea for this. I'd like to say it was my own, but actually Cass with Boom Gel Stain put out a video, and I really enjoyed what she did, and I thought, I want to do something like that. And of course mine turned out nothing like hers. Isn't that funny how art is that way? Even when we get inspired by someone and we think, oh, I can do that, but actually it ended up looking very different than hers, but I liked what she did, and I thought, I'm going to try that, and that's how I ended up being able to even try the Boom Gel Stain, so thank you, Cass. I also wanted to mention that using the Boom Gel Stain means you don't have to mix any paints, and my shoulder continues to heal. It's been a year. I notice that I'll tweak it every now and again doing the wrong thing, so it's great to be able to pour or to do some type of fluid art without having to mix. And so I really enjoyed using the Boom Gel Stains for that reason as well. And you know, the last year you guys haven't seen me doing as much pouring, and that is really why. It's literally just the mixing paints that's keeping me from doing that. And I've been exploring a lot of other things, like I said in the beginning, some mixed media art and yeah, just some other art as well. So look how pretty that turned out. So I love it just how it is, but decided to do more, and so I thought it just needed a few little highlights. This is me finger painting. So what I'm literally doing is taking the white, putting it on my finger, and then just depositing it, mostly in the center of these flowers, so they really look like they have some highlights. So if you're not happy with the outcome of how something looks after you do it, just go back. That's one of the beautiful parts of fluid art. It's not set in stone yet. So you can go back and play, and who doesn't like to finger paint? I mean, that's the most childlike joy ever, right? Isn't that how we first learned to paint? Was with our hands. And our mind will create the picture that we want to see. So if we want to see little blossoms, we will see little blossoms. Just little bits of paint. All I'm really doing is barely touching the canvas and lifting it up in one direction. And that's it. And then our mind makes the image. Little blossoms. All right, so here's the dried result, and this is where I decided to get a little crafty. So I'm using a watercolor brush, a round brush. I don't think it's just for watercolors, but Arteza sells this brush and a round brush set, and I really enjoy using it. And that is a Liquitex paint, just straight from it's a sap green, and it's just a little bit of water. And then I added the Golden's green gold to get some highlights in there. And I just wanted to make some wispy little vine elements all around this painting. And I want to show you, this looks like it's easy, but I'm just, for 1 second, I'm going to slow it down and show you in real time. This is not slow motion. Yes, that is how slow I am. I am not a fast painter. I'm still learning to have confidence with a brush, but what I can tell you after a year or so of really using a brush frequently is I'm getting more confident, but look how long it still takes me. So, but it's okay, you know, I think the more you do it, the better you get at it. So just keep playing around. If you have a desire to paint with a brush or paint more realistic, just try, you know. These poured backgrounds are great starting places. So you're not just starting with a big empty canvas that you have to try to create something. And, you know, the imperfection of nature really lends itself to the possibilities of trying something new in terms of flowers and vines and things like that, because in nature things are not absolutely perfect. In fact, when they look perfect, they almost look off to our eyes. So that's why this actually is a great way to practice trying something new if you're scared to use a brush. And that's just a little fine line brush from Arteza too. I really like their paintbrushes. Here's a real-time close-up of me doing some of the little tiny leaves, the little tiny leaf details in this painting. And I just used the green gold, and then I just started adding white. Continue to add white. You could just continue to add white really to create the depth. That's how I'm getting some of the depth here, is just starting with the darker colors and then building on top of it lighter and lighter layers. Now, CraftDat acrylic pens. If you don't feel like using a brush, you can try an acrylic pen. There's Posca, there's all different kinds. But I really enjoy these because they have a very fine tip to them. It's a great company, CraftDat. Everything I've gotten from there I've been very happy with, and all I can say, they come in all these beautiful colors, 22 colors. They flow very, very easily out. They do not get gummed up. You know how some paint pens, they just get gummy over time. They're hard to deposit onto the canvas. These were so easy to use with a beautiful fine tip. I just really enjoyed using them and can't wait to use them for another project, honestly. So this was just a quick little use of them, but it was really fun. And I'll provide a link in the description box as well for how to get these paint pens. And it's just acrylic paints. They stay wet for just a minute. You can smear them with your finger if you're trying to do a little bit of blending, which you can see me doing here. And so then I just added just a little bit more highlight, and see that little tiny bit extra. That's kind of a real bright green, and that just adds that little extra thing that gives more depth to the piece. And a few little highlights on the vines and the leaves and everything. And then of course I added the little yellow dots, which I think provided something extra too. And look how pretty this painting turned out, so well. And I did 2 of them, so it's really exciting. I'm glad I can show you this one, and I'm really excited about the next one. I want you to see it too, and I'll give you a sneak peek here of that one in a second. This is Boom Blooms number 2. Yes, I'm so excited to show you that one. But so stay tuned for Art Healing Hearts virtual art event, March 17th through the 21st on our Facebook group. And as always, I can't wait to make more art videos just for you. Thanks guys, bye-bye.